time. Speak easy from Eddie Hernandez.
You don't respect the family, you don't fight. Jimmy, Jay, you're out. I prefer guys that respect the bloodline. We don't tolerate losers. We don't tolerate traitors. So we don't tolerate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an extended absence, welcome back to the Wrestling World Cup. Today, it's American Samoa versus China. And what a matchup this is going to be. Two teams that desperately need the points. We just heard from Roman Anoa'i that the Usos basically will not be involved now because of what happened, which means that the extra stress is going to fall on Samoa Joe. This is going to be the first of his 2 matches here tonight. Roman Anoa'i has put a lot of trust in the Samoan submission machine, a man who has yet to lose since winning the Intercontinental Championship.
Gotta slow up, gotta shake this high. Gotta take a minute just to ease my mind. 'Cause if I don't walk, then I get caught out. And I'll be falling all the way down. Turn my head and shut my eyes. Doesn't even matter if I'm wrong or right. 'Cause if I don't walk,
you gotta love the attitude that you're seeing from Team China. Like I said, both of these teams desperately need wins right now. You're looking at the Group B standings, and American Samoa in third with 4 points, China in last with 3 points. It was Takahashi that rescued those in their matchup with Japan when he defeated Kazuchika Okada, an incredible match. But now both of these teams in serious danger of tumbling out of contention. Team Mexico in the lead with 16 points. Team Japan in second with 11. That's after a massive night from Mexico, defeating both Okada and Shibata, the tag team, and Tetsuya Naito. Mexico has been phenomenal. One of these teams has to dominate here to try to keep pace. And American Samoa captain Roman Anoa'i believes that Samoa Joe is the key to that domination. We'll see if that theory bears fruit. Samoa Joe Jacob Fatu making his Wrestling World Cup debut. Of course, the Usos went down at the hands of the Lucha Brothers in Samoa's first matchup. That was against Mexico. Roman Anoa'i also went down at the hands of Rey Mysterio. On that night, it was only Samoa Joe who picked up the victory. He defeated Bandito by submission, rescued 4 points for Samoa. Now Joe tossed off by Boa. Great job by the man from China, teaming with China's captain, Lee Carr. It's a very interesting matchup that we're seeing here. The lineup that China is putting out, Yunson Park making his World Cup debut, returning from injury, so hopefully we will hear from him. He will be fighting up next against Samoa Joe. Tag in, here comes Fatu. In the main event, Takahashi, China's breakout star, GAW Rookie of the Year and former Raw champion, will be taking on Samoa's captain, Roman Anoa'i. Super kick by Fatu, caught by Carr. Takes him down, drops him with the right lariat. Now Fatu catches him trying to go across. Carr looking for a tag in to Boa. And a good job by Team American Samoa to keep him away from that corner. Fatu will take the opportunity to tag in Samoa Joe. Now Carr trying to get back into his corner, and Samoa Joe again will not let him do it. Great chemistry here from the team that is calling themselves the new Samoan SWAT team. Oh, Joe, I think right there he might have been looking for the coquina clutch, but Lee Carr, great job. Carr, drop kick to the chest. Joe's down, and Jacob Fatu is there to break things up. Nice job by Boa. Ejects Fatu now. Carr with the camel clutch on Joe. Single leg knee to the back. Carr looking for that extra point for the submission. We're past the 2 minutes. Still 5 points to be had here. Joe with the Emerald Flosion on Lee Carr. Samoa Joe always learning. And now Carr reaches around, gets the tag in from Boa. Absolutely needed, but Samoa Joe, Irish whip off and takes him down with the elbow. Jacob Fatu returns to the apron as well. I apologize for the extended absence of GAW programming, but now that we're back, we're talking the end of the Wrestling World Cup and our first special event coming up soon. We'll have a lot more info to come. Boa pulls him back into the knee strike. Nice job here from Boa, who really performed very well in China's first matchup. He and Jason Lee went down at the hands of Shibata and Sonata. But Boa specifically was very impressive in that match, and I think that's the reason why he is the one who is staying here. Nice job from Boa. Boa was able to get the tag in. Now Fatu with the super kick, but he's dropped by Boa as well. A flurry of movement, but Boa able to stay in the ring. Just catches Fatu with what looked like just a straight right jab and stopped Jacob Fatu from going to the cover off of that powerful super kick. Now Fatu with the headbutt, and Boa is right there to break up the pinfall attempt. Team American Samoa taking control, but Fatu's headbutt again. This time Lee Carr was all over it. Shining Wizard attempt. Fatu able to block it just barely. Maybe the toe of the boot got through, but Fatu still able to keep his foot on the gas. I really don't know what's going to happen here. Oh, Samoa Joe from behind and drops Lee Carr. Fatu with the clubbing blow. Now Samoa Joe has been American Samoa's saving grace in this tournament. The only reason that they tallied any points last round, the only reason that they're not in last place. And now Samoa Joe has really made a huge difference for American Samoa. In terms of the most points gained by anyone, or in this case any team, Lee Carr going to the outside, Samoa Joe there to meet him. Carr actually picked him up into the gut buster. Lee Carr, but Jacob Fatu from the top drops him with a double axe handle all the way up. Absolutely phenomenal. Unbelievable. So when you talk about the most points earned, both TMDK and the Lucha Brothers have 10 combined points between them, as Jacob Fatu with a 450 on Lee Carr. Imagine a man that big off the 450 splash. Fatu into the cover. Carr's in trouble, and Boa is there just in time, and he needed to be. Fatu will continue with the offense, but again, the headbutt to the ground, and Carr again trying for the Shining Wizard. And Jacob Fatu saw it coming and blocked him. Fatu suplex attempt countered by Carr, and Carr going to the knee. Nice chop from Lee Carr, the much bigger Fatu, but he still can't bring him down. Fatu Irish whip into the corner. He's too big and strong. That was one of the big focal points of the old Samoan SWAT team. They were so big, heavy, and strong, you just couldn't bring them down. And that seems to be something that the new Samoan SWAT team has carried over. My God. The headbutt from Fatu is vicious, and Boa, once again, is there in time. Boa staying out of the clutches of Samoa Joe. But right now, Team American Samoa have taken over. Lee Carr is bloodied from that headbutt. Tag in. Here comes Samoa Joe, and Lee Carr just trying to find himself, trying to place. Oh! Samoa Joe going for a kill shot with that lariat, and Lee Carr went low and chopped him right in the knee. What a job by Lee Carr, who slowly makes his way over, and here comes Boa. A tag in that Carr desperately needed, and Boa, is this the Tongan death grip from Boa? Unbelievable. Samoa Joe's actually been grounded, but Jacob Fatu is there just in time. He's caught. Boa absolutely dropping both members of Team American Samoa. And now Joe on the outside. Carr with the green out on Jacob Fatu. Lee Carr, oh my God, he dropped him again. Lee Carr and Team China, it's a green out again. Jacob Fatu on the wrong side of everything from Lee Carr. Tag in, here comes Boa again. Fatu is down, and Boa going after Joe. Boa drops him with a backbreaker. Boa into the cover. Team China's gonna win this thing. They've actually done it. I can't believe it. The fans are stunned. Oh my God. It's the most phenomenal performance. And Lee Carr looking like the genius captain. That Tongan death grip, by the way, really set up Samoa Joe and Lee Carr. 2 green outs and the leg lariat, and Team China in front of 50,000 people here in Orlando. Team China just won 5 points from American Samoa. This is the most unbelievable thing I have ever seen. Team China with the upset of the tournament, possibly. And this has absolutely turned this matchup on its head. A lot more to come, and Samoa Joe, by the way, has to be straight back in action. But we have breaking news coming from the Team Australia camp. We go to Byron Saxton. Well, it has finally happened. We've been talking about it for weeks. Team Australia has made a change. The Australian Wrestling Federation have stripped Jay White of his captaincy after what we've seen in Australia's first 2 matchups. They're still in the lead in Group A right now. No thanks to Captain Jay White. And that means that the unofficial new captain, everything that I'm hearing from the Team Australia camp, is Robbie Eagles, the man who had probably the biggest upset of the tournament. I know we keep saying it, but we cannot stress it enough. His win over Kenny Omega is probably the iconic moment of the Wrestling World Cup so far, and it seems as though Robbie Eagles will take charge of Australia. So where does that leave Jay White? How is he looking now? I don't know. No one really knows what's going to happen. No one really planned for this. No one thought that a country's federation would actually strip someone of their captaincy, but that's exactly what we have unfolding in front of us right now. So where Jay White goes from here, where Australia goes from here, I don't know. All we do know is that Australia's final match to try to stay in the lead and qualify for the semifinals will be next Wednesday against the United Kingdom. So Robbie Eagles has his work cut out for him. But once again, the story of the day, Jay White stripped of his captaincy of Team Australia heading into Australia's final match with Team UK. God, it's so much happening here at the Wrestling World Cup. I can't even keep up with it. Jay White out as captain. I can't believe it. Robbie Eagles, it's so deserved that he'll be the man, presumably, to take over. We'll have to see. We'll have a lot more, and we're working on getting an interview with Robbie Eagles coming up later. But right now, Yun-Son Park making his return. Park representing China, and now has the biggest opportunity of the tournament for them, because China, after picking up 5 points and a tired Samoa Joe, it's looking good. That doesn't mean anything, of course, because Samoa Joe has yet to be defeated in a singles match since his return. In fact, Samoa Joe has not been defeated in a singles match in almost 3 years. This is not a man to be trifled with, and you see the anger of Samoa Joe. He is ready to go against Yun-Son Park. I want to discuss a lot more. Oh, butterfly suplex, beautifully countered by Park. I want to discuss a lot more about Yun-Son Park and you know, why he's here representing China, why he didn't take the captaincy. There's going to be a lot to discuss, but we were able to sit down with Park, and here is just a brief snippet of what Park had to say, why he's here representing China. Well, listen, it's no secret that I am from South Korea, and I love my home, where I came from. I owe everything to my parents and my family and growing up in South Korea. But I've always dreamed about competing in something like this, competing in a World Cup. And, you know, I have grandparents from China. I do have family over there. I've been to Beijing a few times to visit, and you know, it's not how I would have dreamt, but it is my dream to compete on this stage. But I did feel like I didn't grow up there. The culture is not mine, so I will wear that flag and compete with my friends and the guys that I know, but the captaincy wasn't mine to take. What an interesting perspective from Yun-Son Park. Wait a minute, Samoa Joe with the tope suicida. It's such a unique perspective from Yun-Son Park, and I really want to dive a lot more into his mentality, how he worked back from injury. Park is one of the most famous men in GAW, and now he has the opportunity to truly become world famous. If he secures at least 8 points for China, it would put them into a tie with Japan if they only get 8 points and nothing else. But Takahashi, still to come, spinning back fist from Yun-Son Park, absolutely drops the Intercontinental Champion. Cover, no! Things could all be collapsing right now for Team American Samoa as Yun-Son Park, high low flow from Yun-Son Park. No delay, Yun-Son Park in his World Cup debut, covered, no! Samoa Joe survived emphatically as well. I can't believe what we're witnessing. Park, Kawada kicks now. Park going up top. We know what he does from here. Joe to his feet. Park, what a drop kick. Landed on his feet. Team China have become fan favorites here in Orlando. And I think it's because of the underdog story. It has to be. Samoa Joe forces his way out of the corner now. Joe gets Park up in the air and drops him knees first. Joe has that sadistic streak, and now Joe, German suplex, hangs on, transitions, dragon suplex, hangs on. Park in major trouble. Joe finishes it with that straight jacket, and that was Joe's first real. That was his first real. Oh, wait a minute. It could be over right here. Joe off the suplex, triumvirate into the coquina clutch. Joe is so much bigger than Yun-Son Park. Park is almost down. Park just peeled away Samoa Joe's arms. Yun-Son Park survived the coquina clutch. Springboard. Yun-Son Park. He's still going. He's still fighting. That shot didn't take Joe down. Right hand caught. Joe He's caught in the gut. Yun-Son Park turns him around. Now Park has him by the waist, and Park with the side Russian leg sweep transitions into the ground and pound. That's the MMA background of Yun-Son Park coming out. He survived the coquina clutch. Irish whip off. Park tossed him up in the air. Oh, what a kick. Oh my God. And the fans love it. Park from the top. Miracle from LA. And it could be the miracle from Orlando. Park, he's done it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Yun-Son Park just beat Samoa Joe. American Samoa is collapsing. They are collapsing in front of our eyes, and if they don't get a result in the main event, their World Cup will be over. They're sitting with 4 points. China now has 11. They're in a tie with Japan. And in fact, as things stand, they have the tiebreaker. I mean, Japan does rather, but China still one more to go. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what we're watching. Still one more match to come, and it's one of the more important matches of this World Cup. But first, we have Robbie Eagles of Team Australia standing by with our own Wade Barrett. Robbie Eagles, thank you so much for joining us on such short notice. We've just heard a few moments ago the breaking news from your camp. Tell us how you heard that Jay White would no longer be the captain of Team Australia. Our federation called me in, and they told me, I think, right after they had told Jay, who, as far as I know, is already on a plane somewhere else. I don't know. It's not really relevant to what we have to do. But they called me into the boardroom, and they basically said, this is what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to proceed, because we're still in this thing. And we have every opportunity in the world to shock the entire globe, the entire wrestling community. We still have that in us. And so what they told me, basically in no uncertain terms, was we completely disagreed with what happened in our last match, and we want you to fix it. Wow, they actually told you they want you to fix this thing. Yeah, I think that it more has to do with the fact that all of this happened because I didn't get an opportunity to follow up my performance against Kenny Omega. And I'm not saying that I would have done necessarily a better job than, than Bronson, or I may have done a better job than Jay did, but I'm not necessarily saying that. All I know is that that was a flashpoint, and I think I thought that I had earned at least another chance by beating Kenny, and I wasn't given that chance, and there was no real explanation for why. And you saw what happened, and thankfully Shane and Nick pulled their weight, as they always do. But I think the thought process was that, as soon as this is announced, as soon as this is out there, a lot of people are going to come looking for me, as you obviously did. And so they told me, you're going to be the face of this because of what happened. So just be prepared, but also stay focused. UK is going to be desperate next week, and they certainly will. So, right now my focus, all of our focus, is just on what we have to do against the United Kingdom. It's just that simple. Well, Team UK absolutely will be desperate heading in. Have you paid any mind to what your matchups might be? Have you thought at all about, what's going to happen there? Well, the situation makes my job pretty easy. Jay White is no longer around, so, and he could be. Listen, I'm not necessarily shutting the door to Jay White in theory, but he's the one who's left. No one's been able to get a hold of him, and as far as I know, he has just left Orlando. So he has basically made this very easy for me. I have 4 men, and That's how many I need to field. We know that Shane and Nick are going to be our tag team. Whoever the UK puts out there, I have all the confidence in the world that Shane and Nick can get the 5 points, if not more. And so really, it just comes down to me and Bronson and how I feel like I want to structure this thing. Now, here's what I do know. They get the opportunity to pick first or to respond to me. So I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be. The only thing I do know is that both Bronson and I are in for the fights of our lives, but we're prepared for it. We know what's at stake. We know what we can do. We believe that Australia can shock the world next Wednesday, and I just want that opportunity. Well, you are going to get that opportunity. I also don't know who Team UK will put out against you. What I do know is Drew McIntyre is waiting there, and he is desperate for a big win. He might view you as just the kind of person to get him back on track. Listen, if it's Drew McIntyre, bring him on. I'm not saying I can beat him. I wouldn't say anything like that. What I do know is that when he steps in against me, he is going to get my best. He's going to get 100%. I'm not going to leave anything out there because right now we have an entire country that is relying on me. It's relying on us. They're counting on us. I already know the parties back home, they're being planned as we speak. There's watch parties. There's the Sydney Opera House is lit up, and there's going to be people in there. I mean, this is an entire country that's waiting for what we do next Wednesday, and now we can move past all the distractions and everything else. We can just go out there. We have a week to train, and that's why I think the Federation made this call now. We just go out there, and every day we walk into the training facility, and there's a huge Australian flag that hangs above us because we know that that's who we're fighting for. That is what we're competing for. And when you have that, that vision in your mind, you know, things become easy. Robbie, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I hope that we'll hear from you again before your matchup next Wednesday. But yes, Australia versus UK. It's first versus last, but they're separated by a grand total of 5 points. Everything to play for in Group A, and it all goes down next Wednesday. Robbie, thank you so much, and good luck. Thank you very much, Wade. Going through the mind of Roman Anoa'i right now. He has just watched his team collapse, and he is the only man who can save them right now, because if he does not pick up any points, that means that American Samoa would be in last place with 4 points. They'd be 7 points behind even third place. And it would leave Team China leaving here with at least 11, would give them 14 total. American Samoa would be 10 points behind second place China. And so American Samoa's World Cup would be nearly over. All the pressure is on the tribal chief, Roman Anoa'i.
It's time for me to
Nobody's going down, so I say we do this anyway.
We know one of us is going down, so I say we do this anyway. Down in the darkness, beneath the light, need all the hunting grounds.
Meanwhile, it is the breakout star, Takahashi. We talk about the Robbie Eagles upset, which no doubt the biggest upset of the tournament so far. Just behind it is Takahashi defeating the legendary Kazuchika Okada. And now Takahashi has the opportunity to do that very same thing here against Roman Anoa'i. Takahashi at just 20 years old, one of the youngest competitors in this tournament. Wow. I mean, I cannot get over what we're watching right now. Remember that at our first ever Bad News 8, presented to us by Wade Barrett, American Samoa was his number 1. They were the team that Wade Barrett believed was most likely to win this World Cup. Well, you just give them a few matches and suddenly their run is almost over. Here we go. Takahashi exploding out of the gate, going towards Anoa'i. Takahashi knows what's at stake here for Team China. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable what we witnessed here. And as I say, China has locked up this matchup already. They will go to 1-1 as a team. Even if Takahashi loses here, China will be in a tie for second place coming into the final day, where China will take on Mexico and Japan will take on American Samoa. Japan has the tiebreaker because they beat China head-to-head. But it was Takahashi who rescued the points out of that matchup with Japan, and now how significant does that look? Irish whip off, Takahashi ducks underneath and goes down low for the kick, catching Anoa'i in the shins, and his knee came up into the abdomen. And Takahashi, we say it every single time, but folks, is there any indication that this man is less than a year into his career? I mean, he is so mature in what he does. And now look at this. Takahashi's going for 5 points with this knee bar. A submission victory and under 2, but Anoa'i able to free himself. Powerful right hands from the American Samoa captain, but you can see he's already limping on that left leg. Beautifully done by Takahashi. He's turned around into a slam by Anoa'i. Can you imagine if Team China leaves here with 11 points? I mean, can you even imagine? It would be the first ever clean sweep in the Wrestling World Cup, and for it to be China over American Samoa would be unthinkable. Anoa'i going over the top, and Roman Anoa'i will do anything he can to prevent being on the wrong side of history. Wow. Takahashi rolling back in. Now Takahashi over the top. Oh! He practically flew through the air. Takahashi, again, the maturity that he has shown time and time again. Wow. I cannot stress to you enough how unbelievable this is. Anoa'i's massive right hand avoided by Takahashi, who is in control of this match. Takahashi with a spinning knee strike. That caught Anoa'i right on the jaw. And now Takahashi, a moment of indecision here. Could it cost him? Takahashi going up top. No, it doesn't. Diving double foot stomp from Takahashi. Has he actually done it? No. We almost saw it. We almost saw it. Now, Anoa'i to his feet. Takahashi spinning heel kick caught by Anoa'i. That would have been it. That absolutely could have been it. But Roman Anoa'i in that moment was a step ahead. Now, let's talk about the flip side here. Because if Anoa'i wins, then what we're looking at is American Samoa with at least 7 points, maybe 8, as we pass the 2-minute mark. They could have 8. China China, with their 8 points already, would have 11 points. And so they would be in a tie with Japan, as we say. And American Samoa would be just behind with 8. So then our Group B would look very similar to our Group A, where everyone is bunched up. Now the exception would be that Mexico with 16 points would have a larger lead than what we see with Australia right now over in Group A, but it would mean an extremely dramatic final day where all 4 of our final matchups will take place. That is next Wednesday, so make sure you do not miss it. Anoa'i with a heavy right turns Takahashi around, and Anoa'i with a backdrop suplex. So if China wins here and grabs the 11 points, they would move ahead of Japan and just 2 points behind Mexico coming into the final day. So American Samoa, if they're able to go into the final day with 7 or 8, that would give them at least a fighting chance against the 11 points held by American Samoa and Japan. If they do not, American Samoa would be essentially out of this competition. Takahashi feeling himself right now, and Anoa'i enters the ring straight back into the clutches of Takahashi, but Anoa'i able to avoid it. Now, look at this, Roman with a DDT. That is veteran savvy from Roman Anoa'i. And exactly what you'd expect from a man who's been around as long as he has. Anoa'i takes him down. The ground and pound still continuing. And Anoa'i pounding him into the mat. It's still going. Roman Anoa'i trying to keep the pace under control. What a power bomb. And he needs to. If Takahashi is able to run, Anoa'i could be in trouble. Now, Anoa'i again takes to the sky. Oh no! Takahashi saw it coming. Takahashi saw it coming, but he comes right into the slam. He's not a rookie anymore, I suppose, but one of the youngest men in this tournament. You would never know it. Anoa'i sends him back in. Takahashi to his feet. Anoa'i picks him up, but Takahashi got him with the Meteora. Anoa'i has not tried for the spear yet. We'll see if that might be coming. Can he leverage his ability? Takahashi again up top. Anoa'i to his feet. Takahashi with a Meteora. Takahashi with a thunderous Meteora into the cover. No! Not quite. Oh! The spinning heel kick! The spinning heel kick! Takahashi! No! Unreal! I can't believe what I'm seeing. Roman Anoa'i just kicked out of the spinning heel kick. To his feet again. Takahashi, the spinning knee strike this time. Right to the jaw. Folks, there are barely words to describe this. Takahashi, wait! Takahashi! After all of that! Takahashi just did the unthinkable! Takahashi just did the unthinkable! The spinning heel kick, Anoa'i kicked out. But that was all he had in him. Folks, this is historic. American Samoa has collapsed, and Team China is leaving here with 11 points, the first ever clean sweep in the Wrestling World Cup, and it's Team China over Team American Samoa. This is the most unbelievable thing I think I have ever seen. Folks, thank you so much for joining us on this incredible day. The final day of the Wrestling World Cup comes at you in exactly 1 week. All 4 final matchups to come. And when you look at the standings, it couldn't be any closer. Everything to play for as only the top 2 teams advance to the Wrestling World Cup semifinals. Thank you so much again. We'll see you on Friday for Storm. We appreciate you.